Welcome back to BZ Radio. This is your host, Gabe the Gavester. We're going to talk about Sarah Palin and liberals and conservatives. I'm beginning to wonder if George W. Bush just wasn't a setup, a ringer, as it was, for Barack Hussein Obama. It's just that it seemed too much of a coincidence that right at the tail end of his presidency, he ran the debt up so much as if to give Barack Obama an excuse. He just took his lead and ran with it. We did a bailout that probably 100 years from now they're going to say they would have been a hell of a lot better off if they didn't bail anybody out. Let them fail. America was made great by people failing. You might think, well, he's nuts. No, not really. Because before anybody was successful, before most people were successful, they failed. And people are failing all the time. Companies are failing all the time. What's this too big to fail crap? If they'd failed, maybe everybody'd been pretty bad off for a year or so. But that's better than being really bad off for the next 20 years, which is what it looks like now. It's going to be decades before we make a full recovery because of the stupid practices of the party in power. And I'm not going to absolve the Republicans, and I am a Republican. It was started by George W. Bush. Almost seems like it's too much of a coincidence. Here's what we need to do to get this country back on track. We need to elect common people. George W. Bush came from a political dynasty. Well, Barack Obama didn't come from a political dynasty. No. Well, he's first generation. He came from money. George Soros money. We don't have people that are somebody that owns a machine shop and runs for office and goes to Washington for 5 or 10 years and then comes back home. We don't have them people anymore. The honest politicians. We have people that depend on being politicians. We have people whose livelihood depends on them being politicians. Well, that's not true either. Because a lot of our senators and congressmen are multi-millionaires. Rich. I don't know how many common folks are there. There's Joe Biden, and he's not all that great. But I don't know how much he's worth. He was worth almost nothing at one time. He's probably rich now because he's been around for a while. People have a tendency to make a lot of money after a lifetime in the Congress or the Senate. They do. Now, how can that be honest? How? Because they're not making but their regular salary. unless they saved every single cent of it, every single penny. How do they leave Congress 20 years later multi-millionaires? How is that done? It has to be some insider trading at the very least. We need to get, if we can just get one group of senators and congressmen, one, that while before they get corrupted, we can get them to pass term limits, we can avoid a lot of these problems that we're having today. I know you're thinking that I'm calling senators and congressmen corrupt. You're absolutely right. I am. They don't see anything wrong with a lot of the stuff they do. Here is an example. This health care bill, if it goes through, is going to cost you and me an extra $100 million. Why? Because they threw in some extra stuff at the last minute in order to get the senator from Louisiana to vote. $100 million for her state. $100 million for her vote. And they're not ashamed of it. Hey, well, that's what we're paid to do, you know. That's what she's paid to do. Well, you know, she's looking out for her constituents. Yeah, but she's not looking out for the rest of the country. And they're right. Her constituency is not you and me. It's the people of Louisiana. So she did right by them. The culprit here is Harry Reid. That is dishonest politics to the max. But the politicians don't see nothing wrong with it. You and I do. We see something wrong with it, and I don't care if you're a conservative or a liberal. That is dead wrong. You don't make the whole country pay $100 million more just to get a vote from somebody. Harry Reid, I hope you can sleep at night. Harry Reid, we're going to do everything we can to make sure that you're not reelected, but it's probably too late because you've probably stolen enough money where you can live in the lap of luxury for the rest of your natural born days. Well, I've used up my time. I got to get out of here. You have a great day and a better tomorrow. Love your neighbor, even if they are a liberal. Yeah, and even if your neighbor's Harry Reid. And remember, if you live in the United States of America, love your country because there's no other country on the face of the planet that's anywhere close as being as good. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. God bless America. I'm out of here.